You guys know me, I'm always getting set up. Always in the process, always in the motion of. Always in the motion of. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hoping I don't have food in my teeth because I was eating just a minute ago. Okay. So welcome, beautiful souls. If you're able to, just drop in the chat and let me know who's here and who's joining. I would love to connect. And also, please. Oh, yay! Hi, Betsy and Gina. Mwah. I'm so grateful that you're both here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, 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 yay. Oh my goodness. Akandara, welcome. So you guys are still in Shasta. So this is perfect. This is perfect, especially because what we discussed, I am feeling, yeah. Welcome, Andrea. Is it Andrea or Andrea? The first or the second? Andrea or Andrea? Andrea? And welcome. I'm so grateful that you're here. Andrea. Yeah, that's what I was leaning into. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, my loves. I'm so grateful to have you here and so grateful to be back on this platform. Been taking some much needed time and investing it away from not coming into and going into as much. There's been so much happening in regards to time. If you've joined me or you've seen any of my previous lives on Instagram, we've been I've been speaking into time mastery. Gina, hello, beautiful. Oh, thank you. You know what? I am looking forward to being like, I'm looking forward to the moment, the divine time, right? Yeah. When we all connect. And I'm so grateful. Canadian Rocky Mountains. Awesome. I've never been up that way, but energetically, I've been really connecting into the mountains internally, going through some internal initiations. And it's been very beautiful, and I can feel that energy. And that's also, you know, when we're speaking into, hello, Clint, when we're speaking into heart coherence and bringing everything outside of us in, it's even when we're speaking about our environment. Everyone's in the mountains. That's right. You're in the Santa Monica Mountains. That's right. Like, everyone's in the mountains right now. And I really want, like, I want to dial into that, like, because it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Thank you. Thank you. Sending you so much love. If we feel into the mountains, when we are initiated through the mountains, the mountains become a part of us. And we hold the tone. Yeah, right? Exactly. Yes, Miss Gina. Heart coherence. Heart coherence. And I'm feeling the power of this choice and coming into this space and reverberating this. We can't change those lines or those people on those lines that are choosing fragmentation or projection, right? We can't. Been very powerful for me recently is sometimes we feel like we can take what we are, our sovereignty, our sacredness, and we can take it and we can bring it into a space. and we can influence the space, or we can influence the connections, or we can influence the line of time. I also realized for myself when I was making choices that was based around that, how very egoic it was. Because time, lines of time, are frequencies. They're frequencies. So we are tuned, we are dialed into a frequency of existence, and we exist within it. So once we make the choice, we experience everything that's on that line. If we're holding a higher perception, right, we're meant to rise into that line of time, that line of experience. So once we have the perception, if we say, well, I can just take what I realize and I can still go back in, and I can go into those experiences and go into those connections and bring what I am. If you're connecting into a lower line, you're fragmenting. It's the only way it can be energetically. If we're just speaking purely vibrationally, purely frequency, you're not allowing it to come in. You're taking yourself and placing yourself outside of yourself, and therefore you're fragmented. And this is what ends up happening in terms of, like, I would invite everyone to feel into this for yourself. Where are you choosing to be? Where are you choosing to be? And why? Are you choosing to be present within yourself? Are you choosing to be in the existence of? Are you choosing to carry that tone? And therefore, your presence provides all that is necessary, and all experiences come into you. This is our path of mastery. And it's a path it's actually a very easy path, but it's also a path that requires all of you. And this is what a lot are simply not prepared to step into. But at the same time, and it's interesting, I was feeling into it. I was about to say there are many levels and layers to mastery. But even as I was going to step into that and say that, it was like, oh yeah, there's something that's not fully true there. It's not holding the highest tone. The path of mastery is the path of heart coherence, of heart-mind coherence, of reclamation. And you can't just be claiming some of it. It's all of it. It's either all or it's not. It's not black or white. It simply just is. And I would like to take a moment, and I'm going to lay the foundation here energetically for what we're stepping into. I would like to bring in, setting the tone, if you will. I'm going to bring in some light and some codes of light to anchor us, so that as I am offering an exchange of words, they are received fully. And you may find yourself in resonance within them. Rukutukuria sia, karaktak aisia, rukuta aisia, rukutuk aisia, rukutak isia, rukutak asia, rukutak asia, rukutak es, rukutak asia, rukutak asia, rukutak asia, uruk, 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 shiktak are asakur, i ark ai, andaria sukuruk usya are isi ark ai, ruk uchia ark inde atuk uruk shik. Tak uruk, tak uruk, tak uruk. There we go. Setting the tone, setting the foundation. Urukutakishi, arukutakishi, urukutakishi. Allowing those that are able to receive to come in. Tarikarakishi, urukut. Now, as we are speaking about lines, speaking about time, and we're speaking about coherence, if we take a look at our choices, everything begins with choice. Everything. The only true reality that exists, is that of consciousness. therefore that of conscious choice. Conscious choice holds the tone of the ray of experience. So for it, there's one big thing that showed itself to me as I was bringing a channeling through for my group space, and it has to do with the Mara. There has been a lot of ideology around the Mara, and I stepped into this. I myself played a part in it. I was a part of the fantastical egoic expression that comes with the Mara. Until I received it when it shifted. And when it shifted, I was channeling for my group and I heard it differently. I heard it as Mere. And then it it hit me, main ray. It's like, I've always known this. I've known this, but I fell into the fantastical illusion, the projection of ego that declares that Mara is it becomes an idea, it becomes a belief, it becomes a fragmentation of self. Even when we're speaking into those that are connected into it, such as Magdalene or Isis or Ra, we speak about the Mother Solaris. Like, what is that? What is that? What is the Mother Solaris? Anything that we express, we hold a tone of. We hold either a belief of or we exist as. So when I was feeling into it, once that shift happened, it was like, oh my goodness, Isis, Magdalene, Ra, how do you view them? Where are you viewing them from? Because the collective and how I felt, the collective connection into this was highly doused in the illusionary ideology of belief, meaning something that has been inherited, that you have chosen to believe. You've read it somewhere, you've received it through an exchange with another, and it's become emotionally entangled. You hold an entanglement within that projection. And therefore, you continuously exchange from within that line. And it's a continual exchange of beliefs, not continual exchanges of being, which is a different tone. It's a completely different tone. So I would invite those of you that are here that are holding the resonance, that understand through that line of resonance, to fill into that. And I even in the exchanges that I had, I can feel where what I was expressing and what I was speaking into, it held a tone of that belief, of that projected illusion. When we receive or we feel like we belong to a line, that's something that we're needing. Like, we're needing to belong to the Magdalene line, or we're needing to belong to the Isis line, or we're needing to belong to the Hathor line, or we're needing to be a daughter of or a son of. Understanding that we are all creations of consciousness and we are all creators within and as consciousness. Therefore, we are not a byproduct of a belief. Well, yeah, we are. If that's what you're choosing to uphold, yeah, you are. You're a byproduct. Then you're a child of your belief. The eternal child, this is another one that has been idealized. It's almost placing it in like a deity, going back into the God and goddess form, placing them up here. They're out here somewhere. They're out here. They haven't yet come into here. Heart coherence, everything comes in, and we understand that we are expressing as one voice. All those teachings, all those beliefs of all of the ascended masters, of all the gods and goddesses, they are being reclaimed through us. So if we continue to project their image through belief, we hold them captive, just like we hold ourselves captive. And this is what I've been, this is what I was really, really, really understanding on a very deep level when I moved through this latest shift. It was also why I didn't move or go through with certain choices. I understood that those lines were not fully aligned, because The choices were made from a space of ego. Not only was it feeling like I needed to be there, but it was feeling like I needed to bring something of myself, right? To bring something of myself so that others could understand, to bring something of myself, to bring a tone. But we exist as the tone. We don't bring it into another space in hopes of it being received. We exist and we express it, and those that are aligned to it come into us. This has been the biggest reflection of my own master path right now. And my invitation for each and every one of you is to look closely at your choices. It's always about choice. So this is always going to come through. It's always about choice. Who are you exchanging with, and why are you choosing to exchange with them? If you go into a place of exchange, if it's sacred, you're not depleted. If it's a sacred exchange, if it's truly aligned, then you don't feel depleted, and you don't feel like that you need to recuperate yourself, because you're actually receiving yourself. In an exchange of projection, you're losing yourself. You're losing yourself through time. You're losing yourself through the exchange with them. You're losing. It's negating. It's not activating or gaining. It's simple. It's quite literally, it just simply comes down to frequency. If a frequency is not aligned, there's no ability to truly exchange. Not only that, but projections don't allow for an exchange of true activated remembering, because you don't go beneath the projection. You're exchanging through belief. So there's no depth. There's no depth. And within consciousness, the true flow of time, you anchor in what we are going to do here momentarily. You anchor, you dial in, you connect, you speak to, you connect, you attune, you speak to the frequency, you feel the reverberation, you dial in, and your physical body will actually move within the magnetism. That's the true traveling. That's the true. There's no force. There's just simple, the magnetism, the heart magnetism will guide you. And then you move into an anchor, then you move into an anchor, you move into an anchor, and then you are solidified. And once you are there, you have the experience. That's how we travel through time. And we are learning and understanding. And this is, this is not, it's not going to be for everyone. That's okay. There are those that still hold really, really closely to the physical, feeling like they have inherited, like their templates are here to serve the physical. But the physical, all of it, mind, body, soul, is to be inherited. Every bit of it. There is no physical template in service of New Earth. None. Everything is being inherited. Therefore, that's Christed consciousness. It's the reclamation of, it's the unity of, it all comes in. And that's what the heart does. The heart pulls it all in. So if you're in a path of heart coherence, everything is coming into you. This is why in these transmissions, you'll feel that pulling in. You'll feel it. You'll feel yourself opening, widening, and then you'll feel yourself coming in, and then opening, widening, coming in. That's the flexation of magnetism. That's the flexation of a light wave. We have been operating in particle mode. We have been operating in observer mode. And that, in course of quantum physics, when you focus on something long enough, all it takes is not even long enough. It takes one moment of focus, and you change and you shift everything in that range of that particle. In the wave of light, you exist as, therefore you flow and you move as. You're not split in particles through time. That's also why we have life and death cycles. That's why we come back, is because number one, it wasn't mastered. And number two, we die. Our cells are attempting to find themselves in time, but they can't, because they're consistently fragmented. And all the things that we do on a physical level is an attempt to force the cells into being healthy, even a mind. So this is where this is shifting. On the path of ascension and the path of mastery, your cells are understanding how to exist in connection with new sequences of time, which happens, it begins in the DNA. Your DNA strands are multiplying. They're coming into a new sequence. This can only happen if you dial in, right? Your DNA, everything is coming from vibration, it's coming from tone, it's coming from inflection of tone. Everything is light, everything is sound. They each carry a vibration. They each carry a frequency. We are the anchors. There are rays of light, cosmic main rays of light that are coming into this planet. And there is an assumption by many that just because I exist here and just because I know that exists, that somehow I'm receiving it. Now, the way that the rays are affecting the planet is through us. We are the antenna. We are the anchor. We are the conduit. There's another level of this where people understand this. They understand this. And yet they are still projecting what they believe that is. Therefore, there is no true anchor of the master ray. We came here in service as family members of light to disrupt the control frequencies, the frequencies that have manipulated the collective and also allowed for these holographic insertions, creating a false reality. And people get so caught up in that, and that's where the whole cosmic thing comes in. There's a line of spiritual intelligence that many have not inherited because they get so caught up in the cosmic and the beliefs of the cosmic and the exchanges of beliefs that it allows for these, quite literally, these holographic insertions to come in, and it creates a false understanding. It creates a vision, a view of something that isn't actually existing. But if you connect into it, you attach to it, you feed your energy into it, it gives life to wherever that holographic insertion came in. So we must be, it's all about integrity. It's all about integrity, and it's all about sovereignty. When you are in your sovereignty, then you are anchoring, and you are the pillar. You are in heart coherence. You exist as the frequency. You exist as the tone, and you give an anchor to the incoming Mara, or the main ray. And that light ray is, you are within the light ray. You exist within it, and you master within it. So you are the anchor point, and it anchors through the heart. And yes, we have an opportunity of connecting with cosmic beings, with other family members of light. But we must be on the same channel. We must be carrying the same tone. Just because our psychic senses, by the way, you guys, this came in so, like, it was such a beautiful opportunity. I had a one-on-one yesterday that lasted 4 hours. There was so much that came through. And it was all about mastery. That was something that she kept saying. She was like, this remembering is not what we've been taught. It's not about the past lives. It's not about going somewhere out here into the psychic lines and trying to gain something out here, because your Akash is through the psychic lines. We're meant to be inheriting the Akash. We're meant to be bringing it in. We're not meant to be going out here and gathering and seeing. That's not true viewing. True viewing is through the heart, and it's a completely different frequency. You do not go into it the same way as your clairs do not play a role. And there's a very good reason for that. Because in the clairs, especially in clairvoyance, you will project what you think, and you will project what you believe. Therefore, you think that's where you're existing, but that's not the truth. And this is where we have been inheriting ourselves. Everyone's leaning so heavily, because remember, your images are what your eyes see. And your eyes, your ocular, is your projection of reality in this realm. Your eyes are connected, just like your clairs, into your mind, into your psychic. Therefore, your reality is projected. And if we're projecting illusion, then what we see is a projected image. This is, again, in my one-on-ones, it's been coming through so clearly. That's where the image, that's where the channeling, that's where the guidance begins. And then once the experience is had, I will guide them into bringing it in. And once it comes in, and there's no longer dragons or guides out here, You don't need guides. Guides are a projection. The true guides, if you will, are those, and we don't energetically, we're at a space where we don't need guides anymore. Okay. If you're on a path of mastery, you don't need guides because you inherit everything. Therefore, you have access to everything. You are the all knowing. Everything that you have gained, everything that you are inherent within exists through you. You don't need something outside of you to guide you anywhere. And you don't need guides telling you anything. Guides come in on the psychic lines. That's the only way that they can access this realm. The only way. And a lot of those are coming from projected belief. And I know that could possibly, especially if you're not allowing yourself to inherit a higher perception or allowing yourself to truly access something higher or greater, then there would be some triggering to that. That's okay. That's okay. I understand where there's an aspect, there are those that still require that aspect. But if you're here and you realize you're here to master this realm, then you're here to inherit everything, including the planet. We inherit the teachings, we inherit the projections, we inherit the modalities, we inherit the connections, we inherit everything. It comes in. So as you rise higher in perception, you become a greater aspect of your I am, a greater aspect of your all-knowing self. So why would you need everything out here if you're rising into your higher self? That's the point. That was the whole point of you having a higher self as a guide. Rising into it and becoming one with your higher self is coming one with your all-knowing self. So you don't need all the others. And we hold so heavily to having others, to having the external connections. Hello, beautiful Shauna. So grateful you could be here. We hold so tightly to those external human connections, right? And I would invite everyone to look at that for a moment. As we rise on our path of mastery, if you are choosing a path of mastery, and we have to realize, like many are going to remain in 4D. They're going to remain in illusion because they want to play in the playground of fantastical, of idealism, of belief, of projected illusion, of having the physical, remaining in the physical. Even the connection, the physical touch and the connection with others is remaining in that type of connection. In fifth dimension, the whole human is completely redefined. Therefore, what we once needed, what was once a part of feeling, is redefined. And I would invite you to fill into that for a moment. What you feel you need from another, what you feel you have through another, is being redefined. Now, of course, I know there are those that are married, that are in relationships, and it even goes into the twin flame aspect. A twin flame is there as a piece, like a portion of a soul that exists in a different body. It is outside of you. Now, that is here for those that hold that contract, that are wanting to experience that in that way. And I am hearing and I am feeling, I don't know how high, because the full mastery of this realm, everything is reclaimed. Even those soul aspects that exist in another body, it all comes in. I am feeling, and I'm right now feeling into with the twin flame, since they're in both physical bodies, what would that divine union look like? Okay, there we go. So through the sexual exchange, there is an inheritance that takes place of the soul. You actually switch places. So as long as the soul contract remains in an agreement of both are mastering the path, both are mastering the perception, that through sexual exchange, this is very similar to what took place on Venus. Of course, it's different here. We have very different, it's different here. Let's just say that. We also must understand that in a sexual exchange, it's an exchange of power, right? And it's exchange of energy. It's a sacred exchange. It's meant to be sacred. We're only and ever meant to exchange sexually through a sacred soul contract. And this doesn't mean one that you believe is sacred, one that is actually comes into you and is holding the same tone. That is sacred. So if you're always on the same tone, you're always on the same line, then you're inheriting through the heart. And that is a sacred exchange. So I am feeling and hearing where those aspects of divine union are held on the path of mastery, but also with integrity. Because many times people that are still really seeking and really wanting love, there are many that will identify and place that on the partner so that they can have something sacred. And there are those that inherited it, meaning it, you weren't searching, you weren't looking, but it came in and you were able to see through the mirror in the reflection that that is the contract. That's the difference. Understanding with integrity. So as we move higher on the path of mastery, everything is mastering perception. You don't continue to exchange with others just simply because of the name. I feel like we do this a lot. I have myself. Because of the name, because of the name, because of the name. If there is a recognition there, there's an opportunity for attachment. And we must understand how we've been sticking ourselves to people because we feel like we can gain something or we can be seen or they can see us. And we really want someone in that position to see us because they have all these others that they could be seeing, but they see us. Are we sticking ourselves to people because of the name? Us. They come to us. We don't stick ourselves to them. And if we're drawn to a connection with others, if we're drawn in, we always, always, always must fill into why. What is there? What is there? Because if what you're receiving is connecting you continuously up here and out here, into information, into data, and you feel overloaded, if the exchange with them is not always and ever in alignment, if there's times where you step into something that you've agreed to step into and you're just not feeling it, it's no longer in alignment. It's also showing you what's not needed. And it's very, very important that we allow ourselves to let go of that. That we don't just continue to step into an exchange because of the name. So as we are beginning to shift into receiving ourselves, nai, which we already are, but just shifting the tone of it a little bit. My invitation and everything that is expressed here is always and ever asking. It's just always and ever asking you to look. Look within yourself. Let's look at it. Let's see what is here. Let's fill into it and see what is here. And when I say look, I am actually requesting a look, a view through the heart, not through the eyes. Not through the eyes. The magnetism of the heart flows up and it intersects right here. And it pulls. It pulls. It pulls inward. True third eye viewing is not a projection of images. It's a pulling into and then rising into. And when you rise into what you're seeing, when you're communicating with the frequency, is you're seeing the frequency. You're seeing the design, the geometric shape, the structure, the vibration, the tone, the light. So my invitation to you as we begin to step into this, if there are any images that show up, dragons, fairies, an image of an ascended master, Mary Magdalene, Lady Venus, remember, that's an image. Think about that. It's an image. You're seeing an image of. An image of is not the same as being in the receiving of. Because if you're staying up here and you're seeing with your eyes, you're viewing through a line of belief, which you believe, that you need to understand, what you believe you need to see, what you believe that vibration is, what you believe. So as we shift, releasing and allowing, releasing by allowing the beliefs to come in, allow your heart to absorb it, allow everything to come in. You don't need to believe anything in this experience. You just need to simply choose it, dial yourself in, and hold the tone. Therefore, you exist as it. And I feel like we've been very confused as a spiritual community as to what we are experiencing. When we say we're journeying to these different places and we go through this process of, going through the heart and then going out here, and I myself have done this, we journey from right here, right now. We are right here, right now. We journey through time by anchoring in. It's like dropping an anchor into the ocean as a ship. And if a ship's going full speed and it drops an anchor, what happens? It goes all the way, it turns back in on itself. And this is exactly what I've actually been experiencing. And those that have been exchanging with me have been experiencing. As soon as that dial tone is integrated, that heart anchor, it's like that's exactly what you feel. You can feel it. You're dropping anchor in time. Now, it's not because you're staying there. It's just you're letting everyone know in this vibration that you're in this tone, that you're ready to communicate. That's how we communicate. That's how we communicate. We communicate by existing as the frequency, as the tone. And it's like sending Morse code to our cosmic brethren. And therefore, everything is communicated through tone, vibration, and light. And as we continue onward on this journey upward, we are opening ourselves up as a portal, as a gateway to allow these connections. We're basically setting the stage for how we are going to communicate and how we are going to exchange and how we are going to journey in fifth dimension. But it can only happen in true heart mind coherence, which is a path of master. You're holding a master perception there because you've reclaimed. When you've reclaimed, you're actually holding a tone and you're holding the vision, you're holding the view through your being, not through your seeing. We're still clearing our ocular. Okay, I would invite everyone to begin taking some long, deep breaths. And if there's any questions that you would like for me to reflect upon before we begin the higher tones, please, I would welcome that. If there's anything that's passed through your awareness that maybe you're wondering about in a reflection or response of what I've spoken into, I would invite that. Absolutely. And if not, just begin taking some long, deep breaths. You're dropping into the breath. In the breath, you're pulling everything in. And then you expand within it. It allows you to go deeper into the tone. Beginning to set the stage. Beginning to set the stage for the experience. Okay. If I see any questions pop up, I will definitely reflect and respond. As soon as we are aware of our own existence, we can feel the magnetism. As soon as I begin dropping even deeper into my internal, everything expands. The magnetism beneath my feet, the magnetism above my head. Everything is flowing out. And the way that the magnetism flows, as it comes up and around here, it pulls everything in, and then it goes down, it pulls everything in from the solar plexus. So the sacral, the root, this is another aspect. You do not need grounding. Existing in the heart, existing in the magnetism, it's pulling everything up. That's the purpose, that's the intention. Therefore, the lines of time that run beneath the feet, everything, it's pulling everything from root, everything from sacral, everything from solar plexus. And then what it does is it's flowing out from the solar plexus, and our solar plexus is how we view the world. It's how we view our relationships. So in heart magnetism, if you realize, because the womb of the heart is where we are moving into instead of the womb of the physical is taking on a new tone. And yes, there will be some time where the physical is used to inherit and bring in a clearer line of receptivity for those that are being born into this realm. Now, that will also eventually will evolve through and out of that, where everything comes in based on the central channel. But the womb space is it's being reconstructed right now. And there will be an opportunity, there will be a moment on this line of heart coherence where there will be a call, if you will. There will be a call put out. Now, there is also the call that's put out is based on you, where you exist in heart, and your ability to bring in what we are calling star children. I would like to just clear some of the ideology around that. It's simply a soul contract, and it's allowing those that were coming in, that were agreed to come in, to inherit their own remembering immediately, their own reference points of existence, if you will, and to bring that in. That we are opening up an opportunity through unity within the self to allow those contracts to come in through the central pillar, to gain access through the heart, the magnetism, which does not, there's no layer, because previously, right, we're born into forgetting. So there's a layer of veil there. You're not reaching the heart. You're not reaching the magnetism because it wasn't open. It wasn't accessible. And so now those that are coming in, well, soon, they will be coming in when the beacon, basically, when the tone, the signal is put out, but only then, because they're coming in on a certain, they're coming in within a certain reference point, a certain dial tone. And therefore, we must we must have anchored within a certain level of our own mastery, within a certain level of mind, heart, body coherence, so that they too can come in and they don't have the layers of illusion. That is very, very important. That's setting the stage. Eventually others will come in, and I'm feeling that there won't be a need, like fifth dimension, because everything is inherited. We won't need the human design. It will be a simple orokushiari. The vehicle will be different. So others that are in fifth dimension, mastery, can, if we're holding the tone, if we're setting the tone, once they are dialed in, then they can come in and experience fifth dimension. This is why all of this, if you look at the greater picture, if you look beyond the illusion, if you look beyond the beliefs, if you look beyond the projections, everything is simply serving frequency. It's serving tone. It's serving light. There is nothing here that we need to continuously do in the physical to bring this in, other than inherit, other than allow ourselves to become one with all that we are projecting and all that we are focusing on solely in the physical. All of it's coming together. Emotional body, mental body, all of it is becoming one. We will no longer have a separate body for experience. And the only way to inherit and unify the mental body, the emotional body, into a soul, into the physical, or in the physical with the soul, is if you don't focus your energy on one or the other, but you allow it all to come in. This also means releasing yourself from any emotional entanglement. Anywhere that you are entangled emotionally, energetically, frequentially, is keeping you, it's holding you captive in one moment of experience instead of allowing you to be free. Okay. In fifth dimension, because everything is inherited, we no longer have the emotional body. We are within a ray, or light ray. The chakras unify. And it's just a pillar of light. So as our DNA is activated and we are gaining multitudes of strands, we are gaining our ability to transform, to become unified. As you breathe deeply into this truth, allow yourself to bring everything into yourself. Bring it into the breath. Everything that you're choosing to receive outside of you right now. Because even me, I am within. I am merely expressing. Speaking. And if you turn inward, you join. And we exist as one. Now it takes more than just closing the eyes. There is intention, conscious intentionality, integrity, and your own tuning. Calling in the dial tone for this experience. 7727. That is the sequence. That is the dial. So we call this in, meaning we simply become aware. Now, when you go to dial in, first, you must be in the full presence of the heart. You're not searching for an image. You're not searching for a feeling. Everything comes in. Letting go of all expectations. Becoming a blank slate. And we request access to the frequency of attunement. Then we accept and receive. So again, requesting access. Please, for yourself, do this. Request access. And then declare, I accept and receive this access. Everything is intentional. Everything is conscious. And I accept, I receive. Allow yourself to feel the presence of where you are dialing. For me, my body immediately begins to move. Just feel the presence of the frequency without the need to see anything, just allowing, because you are and exist within and as. Ariata Korea. We bring in the dial. Now this is like Morse code. So allow yourself to express, dial, tune. Dial in. First dial in before you tune. Dial in. Find your dial. It is not something that we set our power to. It's not, we want lesser than or greater than. That's not your dial. Your dial is an expression. Like dialing a number. And it is very important that you express your dial. Once you dial in, take a moment. Once you've dialed in for a minute, take a moment and feel where you are. Again, the involuntary movement is definitely a part of it. When you are in heart magnetism, your body will move. We have a tendency when we're projecting, we're finding the space. When we reclaim the projection, we exist within the space. And within the space, within the magnetism, we flow. In some deep breaths. From within the breath, you expand within your magnetism, and you can really feel intensifying. It has even shifted how I view the soul star and the earth star and how we connect in, where we've been like feeling like we need to connect in or we need to anchor. And I'm actually seeing now through the heart that it's simply a meeting point for the magnetic lines. So when we are truly in the heart star, we are automatically in the earth star. We are automatically in the soul star. It's the magnetic lines. And each, the soul star and the earth star inherit where we are within our heart star inheritance. We have this perception that we have guides that show up to guide us and lead us, right? Myself, I have been there. The truth of it. Beyond the idealism, beyond the imagery, beyond, but yet within is understanding that these are star points. They are points of magnetism, magnetic light. So everything is called into I feel that truth, and I feel on the feminine side and the ovaries, where there's a lot of projection. Existing as to what the feminine is, in connection with the guides, in connection with the purpose, in connection with all of this. There's so much idealism even around divine feminine, divine masculine. If we cleanse and clear the lens, arigashi, and call in the greater. Ariasikadimi ari isi ure, and look at it with depth. Arik eshia, through the heart. It is not man or woman. Daragashia, it has nothing to do with the vessel or the physical. It is the vessel or the conduit of the frequency. Arakashi. We are here to inherit the feminine masculine within the self, and we understand, right? There's an understanding, a level to this that is understood through information. But yet is still being projected. The understanding or the belief is still being projected. Where we really identify with the divine feminine, or we really identify with the divine masculine. And do you feel that intense inflection of projection? Because it is an identification. Releasing the identity markers. And calling them in. It has nothing to do with the physical appearance. If you are in a feminine physical body, you are actually inheriting the master tone of the masculine. This needs to be understood. It doesn't need to be. It is asking to be. It is asking to be understood. What does this mean? You are inheriting the structure of consciousness. You chose the feminine vehicle, the body. So that you could access the flow easier initially, but you must also release the identification of what you think flow is. Flow is simply consciousness. So actually, I'm feeling a shift. All physical body as were chosen to clear a certain inherited design within the collective. Within your family line, you have inherited a set of beliefs, you have inherited a set of understandings connected to what that physical identity is, what the feminine is, or what the masculine is. You've inherited through your family. You've inherited through your friends on that same line. You've inherited through your acquaintances on that line. And even as you have shifted into the spiritual community, you are taking and you are placing a new mask on those inherited beliefs. Yes. It's a new face. But it's still the same inherited beliefs, which you believe the necessity or the need of the feminine body plays, what role it plays in the new earth. The truth is the physical body for all of us is completely shifting. It doesn't even matter. Even the name that you have inherited, the name that you were given, it is still on that same line. It was given upon believing what name would be suited for your body, for your soul. And as you are reclaiming, you are reclaiming and you are inheriting the body. Therefore, it does not even matter what the physical is. That is not the design. We are inheriting, that is why we are inheriting the masculine and feminine. It is the identity of what this is. It is the belief of what this is. In the separate bodies. where we have had separate bodies, where we must have separate bodies to experience. And now we are activating within the DNA to be shapeshifters, where we can shapeshift. We are coming into this. We are not yet there. There must be a continual inheritance of your own mastery to come into shapeshifting. You must hold the perceptions that are free from and yet exist as all in order to access all. It is not just knowing that you can, that is not enough. That is the beginning stages. It is being in exchange with the master tone. With that tone that provides and serves as the representation of where you are available in your highest. For some time, we will have those. Even now, as I sit here and I express and I provide the perception, and you yourself look within and find yourself within the same. We are coming to a space eventually, we're coming to a space within time and the consciousness, the flow of rukutia. You see, the flow of consciousness, if you will, is the feminine. But let us actually remove that word. It is the flow of time and the design. The flow of consciousness, time is the design. It is the structure. It is given structure through time. The true time, which is consciousness. We are coming to a space where we will inherit any external reference point. Of course, we are still in the beginning stages of this journey, but eventually we'll come to a space within ourselves, where we can manifest, where we can create a holographic reference of ourself and view ourself from that space. That is what I would, what I am receiving and hearing and understanding to be the true projection. It is a holographic projection from the heart of the self. Not another. Or not a projection of the self onto another self. We will be able to project in using our DNA as a projector. To project what is necessary for us to see. That is why you will hear me refer to the technology of the DNA, the technology of the frequency. That is the technology. Let us view the main ray. I would call in the dial again. 7727. This is your anchor. I'm inviting you now to express and dial as your reference point. Your viewing should be that of the frequency. If any images come out of you, call them back in. Allowing yourself to have the pure experience of the feeling. We are stepping into now the viewing of the main ray of mastery. Viewing ourselves within it and viewing what is here for us as a master of the ray. Now, what this means, It is not a viewing of other ascended masters. It has nothing to do with the Magdalens or Hathors or Isis and Ra. They are being inherited through us. Their image, their design, they exist simply as a tone, a note in the orchestra of creation. Dariyashia korku. Please release any need to find your connection to them. Barukutigeti amarik isi arakotia. Allowing you to receive arigashia marikotiasia kari yourself. Rukutukushia. And what you hear, ariasia namaraketi of yourself. Arukutiya. Therefore what you feel of yourself. Rukutiki marik arik ishukurkuk. What is here for you within this ray of mastery? Arik Ashia, as we prepare to enter Orukotiki, this is the question, Darga. What is required of you? What is necessary of you? What is necessary that you let go of and reclaim so that you may rise? Arik Ashia, Rukutiki. What are you declaring that is prohibiting you? What are you proclaiming that is prohibiting you? As soon as you receive the message, you're ready. Ariyashi Marakotia. The only thing stopping you is the belief. Araketiki, Marakatiki, Siki, Orukutka. Calling in bells. Ariashia Namarakiti, Aria Siktiki, Mariatia Siktiki, Maria Siktiki, Maria Siktiki, calling in tuning forks, Aria Maria Siktiki, Mariatiki, Siktiki, Maria Siktiki, Mariatiki, calling in crystalline compounds, Ariatokoriasia, Ariateti, Adoro Maria Siatariki, from the fifth dimensional planetary, astral etheric, Ariotokoriasia, Marakatiki, Siatara Marakatiki, Siatara Marakiki, Tarakataka, Dia Marakatiki, Tarakatika Marakatiki, Tarakamataki, 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 Tarkamagi, Tarkati, 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 Markati, 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 Tarkati, 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 Tukur, 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 tuk urk, tuk urk, tuk urk, tuk urk, tuk urk, tuk urk, tuk I tick 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 tick, and you can feel it intensifying. Tick 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 tick. And now it is coming into and reaching the third eye, pulling. Gariatakai, iti marakatake, siktiki maragataki, siktiki marakati, rukutiki marakati, 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 clearing. Garimataki, taki, taki, marakatiki, marakati, 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 suktuk, 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 marakatik, 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 suk, suk, paratik, 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 suk, 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 paratik, 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 suk, 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 suk. Do you feel it? If you're feeling like you could float, like you could levitate, that's the purpose. It does not mean that you are disconnected from the planet. It is actually you are inheriting. It is coming in. It is not like we have to reach out here and bring it in. It comes in to us by choice. An intention. We call forth and request access to the main ray. Rukutiki mariataka, riisi mariatiki, siktiki mariatiki, siktiki mariatiki, siktiki mariatiki, siktiki mariatiki. The main ray is different for everyone. Dariatiki, siktiki mariatiki, siktiki mariatiki, siktiki mariatiki. Ruk. This is where we get the mara lines. those that ascended this realm, inherited through their main ray of mastery. That is it. We have idealized them for too long. We have held them captive for too long. If you receive an image of a master coming to you, realize that you are receiving an image that you have projected coming into you. Coming. You have brought it to yourself. Rukutia sia marakataki sia tak marakatuku sia taki marakati sia tak marakatuku sia taki marakati sia tak marakatuku sia tak marakati sia tak marakatuku sia tak marakati sia tak urkutuku sia marakati. Allow yourself to inherit and receive the teachings, the images, the beliefs. Urkataki sakatakari siktakari siktiki marakatiki siktiki marakatiki sikti marakatiki ruktuku argi maraki bargi pargi pargi suk ruk tuk ruk tuk ruk tuk tuk ruk. And as we call it in now, when your third eye, as it's pulling it in, you may have a lot of images coming in. I do want to declare that. If you have a lot showing up, this is showing you all that you've been holding there, all that you've been holding there, an image of illusion. Let it come in. Doriasi Mariatiki, Siktika Mariatiki, Siktika Mariatiki, Siktika Mariatiki. Let it come in. Allow yourself to receive it without judgment, without shame, just honoring that that was necessary. That was necessary. It was necessary for you to view in that way, for you to understand that there was something more than what you had understood previously, that you gained what you believed. And that is beautiful. And now it is time. You no longer need to go to another to read your Akash. You are inheriting. You do not need another to tell you the importance of what you are. You do not need another to place you on a pedestal so that your voice can be heard. So call and bring all of that in, those aspects of you that you have been putting and sticking to another in hopes of being seen, in hopes of being witnessed. The divine witness is the heart. Barakadi marakisi, arakataki, urkotki, marakati, siktiki, barakatiki, siktiki, marakatiki, siktiki. And you hold the perception. Darayatukurishia marakatiki. You hold the perception. Darayatukuriki. You hold the view. Arukotiki through the heart. Aragishi marakotukai. That is how we receive our ascended master template. Darayashukurige is we inherit our Akash for the planet. Arigi. It comes in. Arige. We no longer go into the records to receive. We inherit it. It comes in. Darayatukurigashige. It becomes one with and one within because it is able to be a part of us. Orokoshiakaraki. Inakari si korge kari marakoti si atakuria. My fur baby starseed came out. So kari si korgi makiyata I orokoti. Dia si kuria si akari. And I want to celebrate this moment that Yesu kuria si akari as we are viewing Gariasiki kuria siya. And even as I was guided and I was looking to him outside, I want to reflect that how my attention was drawn to him outside of myself. And now I'm going to take a moment to reclaim the need to view and my need to take the attention there. And honoring that he was guided to come out. Because we are connected internally. Just like all of those that you are connected with. Orokoshiai, where are you giving your attention? Tariutogi karaki korakuchiakai. Where are you giving yourself? Orokushiakarimi. And I'm feeling a shift. Shinakari sia korukurki korukurki. I'm feeling a shift. I was actually feeling the body is moving. And I would invite you to feel that. You know, it's so interesting, and I would like to share this in this moment. Because I can feel, and I want to use it as a moment of mastery here. For this, I feel is valid for all of us. Because he is out here, and it's something that we have been working through. Where I've been releasing the attachment and needing him to do something. As many of you may be aware, he was moving through some injuries because of my projection. So in this moment, because he is out here, which is a moment of celebration, in Akia, there were lines of time where he would stay inside for 2 days, not go to the bathroom, because I had projected so much illusion. And now he is coming out on his own, like he is meant to, like he is like the natural state of being for him. And I feel it, where I want to go and I want to join in. I want to join in that moment as it flows out here. And I would like for you to take a moment and witness this within yourself. Where are you pulling yourself away from in hopes of having that experience? And I can actually feel it when I pull my arm out like that. Where it pulls away from. I would invite you now to bring it in. And right then, you feel the difference. Where are you feeling you need to be? Instead of allowing yourself to exist as Anani Kurya. Even in terms of our relationships, if you're a parent with your children, you want to go into, you want to have that exchange, you want to have that moment. But if you witness it in the truth of what it is now, you want to have it. You want to own it. And therefore you fragment. I had a choice right there. I felt it. Do I want to walk over? Do I want to pause this? And join in? Or do I honor that it is all happening through me and he is merely a reflection? Do we feel this? Do we feel this? How everything is happening through us. And when it shows up in the physical, it is a reflection. Where have you been pulling yourself away from yourself in hopes of having an experience with another? I'm not negating the beauty of it, because when this moment of gathering, this moment of anchor, the 7727, when it is complete, then we go and we pollinate that experience. But at the same time, I'm also hearing Our pollination happens through our existence. We do not have to go and do. We do not need to go and gather for the sake of. And so I would invite you to view now through the heart your intention behind every choice that you make, every experience that you are having. Has it been pulled to you? Or have you been pulling yourself away to go to it? Let us move through some inflections, some waves of light, calibrating, allowing the sequence and the dance of the DNA to take place. Understanding the technology, the communication happening through the DNA. This is a moment that is eternal in and of itself. The longer that you remain, the longer that your cells and your DNA learn. And every choice that you make in this moment is reverberating through space and time. The choice not to project, but to reclaim. The sequence of your DNA is changing because of this. It feels the vibration, it feels the tone, it feels the shift that takes place. The choice to not step away from, to feel like you need to join back in because you're missing out. When you chose to step into this moment, in this anchor, for the experience, and it's internal, not external. For all the external you are feeling is coming into, and we are together in this moment, gathered internally in the heart. We are gathered in frequency. We are unified in the choice to be present in the frequency. Toning and tuning now. Now we feel the wave as we are the wave. And you move as a wave. We move together as a wave. And this is the difference between a particle experience and a wave experience. flowing within the first wave, feeling the movement. Tarakataki, sikutukataki, siktukutaki, siktukutaki, siktuku. Rukutukutuku, rukutuku, rukutukutuku. Suktuktuktuktuktuktuktuktuk. Ina sia korea sia karagina maragi sia taki korea sia taremegi rukutuku sia taki maragitiki siktiki maragitiki siktiki maragitiki. And we anchor arakutiki siktiki 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 ruk 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 suku tuk 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 tuk. And allowing yourself to anchor kariasa mariasi atakia kuriati ase marakatiki. And you can feel that sucking, that pulling into the gut. Taragiki akorki akaremariki. This is that reference point. Taragi sukutiki marakatiki siki marakatiki. Saktaki marakatiki siktiki marakatiki siktiki marakatiki siktiki marakatiki sukurku. This is your reference point. Inarayese kuriai. Where you are the light. Where your relationships and the definition of your relationships and the reflections are taking on a new tone through this solar plexus reconnection into the heart. Let us now orukati maraki siktiki mariatiki call it all in. Orukutiki sikti mariatiki sikti mariatiki sikti mariatiki sikti mariatiki siktuku. Mariatiki sikti mariatiki sikti mariatiki sikti mariatiki siktuku rukutuku rukutuku rukutuku. Bring yourself into the pillar. Arimatiki siktiki me tiki siktiki me tiki siktiki me suktuk tuk 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 and feeling yourself coming into the pillar. And as you are coming into the pillar, siktiki mariatiki siktiki mariatiki siktiki mariatiki siktiki mariatiki siktiki suk 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 suk. Allowing yourself to honor all that you are, all that you have received through this tone of self. You exist as. All is received, all is in, all is here, and you are present and exist as. All has been received and all has been activated within. Allowing yourself to come back. I don't want to say that. Allowing yourself to bringing your awareness through the physical eyes. You are nowhere other than here. I don't want to say come back. So just allowing yourself to open the eyes and stretch. Thank you for receiving. Thank you so much for connecting. As I prepare to seal and close this moment, because that's the intention. We open, we dial in, we open ourselves into an experience, and then we close it out. We receive all of ourselves. And if we are connecting into a place and a line that requires projection and we don't actually dial into a moment, we are fragmented in a moment. And I hope that everyone was able to feel the differentiation there. I want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for receiving. Thank you for allowing this expression. And there. I'm coming, boo-boo. I wanted to show you guys. Hang on. There's Will. Let's see. There's Granddaddy, and there's Fur Baby. So, thank you. You want to say hi, baby? Say hi to everybody and say thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, truly. Thank you for joining. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful for this moment. I'm grateful because I can actually witness right now a reflection of the power of this, where there is an existence of those that I would have been connected and projected and fragmented with are now present with me in this moment, and not in another point in time. I think that's the beauty. There we go. Not in a point in time. So that is a reference. He is present. He is here with me. He has chosen to come out, to come into this moment with me, and he is present with me. He is not fragmented through another moment. I don't need to go and find him. Just like that would be like finding myself. Right? So I thank you all. I thank you for receiving. Betsy, Gina, if you guys are still here, I would love to hear from you guys on Instagram on how this felt in connection to what we were discussing. And Akindara, Andrea, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for receiving. I am so grateful to have each and every one of you here with me. I really, really am. Thank you for receiving the message. And with all of this, I just want to, I'm declaring there is a higher heart, there is a higher activation now that everyone is in this awareness of tone that will be coming very, very soon. So I look forward to bringing that through. Yvonne, I'm so grateful you were here. I don't know if you were able to catch in from the beginning, but I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that each and every one of you dropped in. And I look forward to bringing that through. Oh, Andrea, I love you. I love you. I love you. I am so grateful. Thank you all for choosing to be present in the heart. Thank you for choosing to journey within your heart. Thank you for choosing to honor all that's here. And thank you for bringing it in and experiencing yourself in this way. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all so much. I'm now going to flow through this moment and experience. And I do want to declare this one thing as we are reclaiming everything outside of us, as we move through the physical, to understand that we don't need the physical. We're not serving a physical purpose anymore. We're serving a collective inherited, meaning of ourselves, inheriting it. So anytime you move through the physical, allow yourself to move with the intention and the purpose of being free. You don't need it. You don't need to ground. You don't need to do anything. You just simply need to exist. Allowing yourself to honor this. If holding the tone, now holding the tune. Now for some that might be necessary because we understand like that's a part of the process, right? That's a part of the process. But as you rise higher in tone, you're meant to rise higher and exist as higher. So allow nature, allow the external to be a part of you, not you placing a part of yourself there. All right. I love you guys. Until next time. Mwah. Adonai. Thank you, Emma. Adonai, beautiful souls.